According to a report on Tracking Board, New Line Cinemas is developing another reboot of the iconic Freddy Krueger film, Nightmare on Elm Street. It's also being reported that Orphan and Walking Dead writer David Leslie Johnson will pen the script for the new project. Elm Street was already rebooted once in 2010 with Jackie Earl Haley playing Freddy, but the film met with horrible critic and fan reviews. Schnepp, do you buy or sell New Line rebooting Nightmare on Elm Street again?
I totally rebuy it. That's a film that I saw. No, they already rebooted it once. So, you know, that's a film that I saw as a little kid, and it's in the theater, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and it scared me so much. I had nightmares for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I was lucky enough to have 2 high school gals with me, and I was the one who wanted to leave. I was like, I can't take this. It literally scared me. You watch it now, it's a little clumsy with the special effects, and, you know, everyone's, you know, it doesn't work, whatever. It worked for, at the time when it came out, it scared millions and millions of people. The reboot, not so much. I just think they went the wrong route.
Well, you know why?
Why?
The reason the reboot didn't work, because they had this great original vision. Not a lot of people know that Sinead DeFries starred in the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, and then this New Line stepped in. They screwed up. They re-edited it. Tell everybody about your big massive role in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Where can people find you in that film?
It was in the beginning of that movie. I played a friend. I didn't wear shoes.
We're not kidding, by the way. She is an extra in the movie.
Did Freddie steal your shoes?
People?
I first, they cut a scene out of the beginning of the movie, and originally, so the first time I did extra work on it, he was supposed to, the guy Dean is supposed to fall through the roof. Freddie kills him in his sleep at his party. He falls asleep at his high school party, and he falls through the roof. And I got to watch like this amazing stunt scene. They dropped him basically from a roof, and it was Twilight guy, what's his name, Kellen Lutz.
Kellen Lutz.
His stunt guy comes in and he basically falls and crashes. They could only do it one time, crashed through all this glass. I was like, this movie's gonna be awesome. They cut that out, and then the rest of the movie was terrible.
So they cut the scene that you're in.
No, I did some more little work, but that was a really good one. So you probably can't even see me.
So basically, look for Schnepp in Ferris Bueller.
Look for the Sinead DeFries cut of.
Yes.
That's right.
I want at least 5 still frames of Sinead, like in the background, like what's happening
with no shoes.
Shoeless Sinead. Yeah. So do I buy this? Yes, I actually do buy it. So I'd like to see them do Nightmare on Elm Street. I'd say, why not get a female Freddy Krueger? What would you call her?
What?
Erica Krueger.
Frida Krueger?
Yeah, Frida Krueger.
What do you think?
I'm gonna sell it, and that it could change once because I do like the writer very much. I actually did like Orphan. I thought Orphan. I mean, it could have been, for what that reveal was, could have been extremely silly, and I wound up enjoying it. And I'm not the biggest horror guy, but it just makes you go, again, we're gonna try this. It's like the original was the original, and Robert Englund was one of a kind. And one of the reasons I thought that the remake or the reboot failed was that Freddy was funny back in the day,
right?
And he had personality, and he was just this kind of creepy killer, and it blended in with any other creepy killer. It wasn't Freddy.
Yeah.
So if you can, and it's hard to do that, and because there's another balance. Now, if you try, well, we're gonna give him a little more humor, and then the next thing you got Steve Carell jumping around as Freddy Krueger, then we're in trouble. So as of right now, I'm skeptical, but that's not to say there's not a version out there, like you always say with what's your Freddy the Dancing Microphone or whatever?
Felipe.
Like with the right team, it could work, but right now I'm going to sell it.
I'm going to sell it, but with an asterisk beside it. Look, Nightmare on Elm Street is a beloved franchise. You can go back to the well in this and revisit it again, but you do got to nail Freddy, and that's one thing they didn't do. Jackie Earl Haley is awesome,
great actor.
but that wasn't Freddy. I mean, they didn't give him a Freddy character to work with. The reason I'm going to sell it is because I think it's too soon. I really think, give it 5 more years.
Spider-Man says, ha ha.
Yeah, I know. But honestly, I think for this, I think give him 5 more years. Wait till 2020 and then revisit the classic again. Right now, it just doesn't feel like the right time for me, even though this is a great property. You do got to revisit at some point. I just don't think now's the time. So for me, just by this much, I'm going to give it a sell.
But by the time that they make this thing, it'll probably be about 2017, 18 now.
Yeah, it might be.
You know what? Also, I mean, if you go back to the well and you watch the original Nightmare on Elm Street, the Freddy Krueger character wasn't that funny. he was truly horrific and a child murderer.
He evolved and became
He evolved,
funny.
and then
Right.
he actually had a television show, and there were plush Freddy dolls.
Right.
That's too far, and that's when it's not scary. I'd say go all the way back to the original. What is it that's frightening about it? It's a creature, a thing that invades your dreams and turns them into nightmares and can kill you while you're asleep. That's what frightened me as a kid. The idea that if you go to sleep, you're going to die in your dream, which turns into a nightmare. That's real simple. Just make it good. That's all. I just like.
But the problem
I know it's
is-
easy to say. Make it good, writer guy.
The problem is though when that came out though, everything you're saying is absolutely true. But the problem is when it came out, we had never really seen that before.
Right.
We've seen it now before.
Right.
So in order, you almost kind of have to do the Freddy that evolves because that's the Freddy that we're accustomed to at this point. Because we didn't know who Freddy was, and the reason why he was so terrifying at first because that's the first you ever seen of him.
But there's
But even that first one, he had a lot of personality.
He
Yes,
did.
he didn't crack as many jokes,
Right.
but he still had that Freddy personality. I felt that was lacking in the 2010s.
I think there's a way to do it. There's definitely a way to bring that kind of horror. That's what I want. I don't want it to be jokey and comedic.
I don't want
it to be frightening.
one-liners and him doing, a night at the Improv. I want more of like with the balance between one and
Kid
two.
walks into a dream.
That's pretty much what he used to do.
What's going on, little
But I love his one-liners. How sweet, fresh meat. Like stuff like
shrink.
that was
Yeah.
great. More of that.